purpose of life is to give it away. That quote is what I've come to know of Taylor and her genuine love of making beautiful things for other people. As a person, she is braver, stronger, smarter, and more courageous than you could possibly imagine, and in my direct experience, she unflinchingly gives of her talents and abilities as an artist, especially if there's any way it can bring more light into the world. Taylor is truly a bright, kind, and amazing soul. Her art is vibrant, uplifting, and uniquely positive, much like herself, and if you get a chance to connect with her or her work, you will certainly be better for it. Taylor is also genuinely hilarious and a complete blast to hang out with. One thing you wouldn't guess about her, though, is that when she's not out tearing it up with some highly questionable influences in this group, I've heard the stories, you know who you are. She is most likely at home being a totally introverted art nerd that happily spends hours and hours alone creating beautiful things and is more than likely asleep by 8:30 most nights.
Now that you all know about my 8:30 bedtime, thank you, Scott. So a little bit about me. I am born and raised in the Midwest. My parents still live in the same house that I grew up in. This is us a few years ago, though, vacationing in Colorado. Come from kind of a natural family, if you will, rather hippie. I am a cat mom, so maybe we could do some meow meows, Tammy, next week. So those are my two children, Henry and Annie. And then a big part of my life growing up was I was a dancer. So I did lyrical, jazz, hip-hop, tap, ballet, modern, musical theater, pretty much all of it competitively from second grade to about sophomore year of high school. And then that's my best friend, that's my brother, Andrew, and that pretty much describes our relationship of he's funny, I laugh. Some of his humor has kind of rubbed up on me over the years, though. And then I've always been a down-to-earth diva. So that's us camping growing up. Our summer vacations were spent in Devil's Lake in Wisconsin camping, but got to keep the diva alive a little bit. And another big part is I love to solo travel. So this is me in Hawaii. I flew myself there for 2 weeks by myself after college. And my parents probably would have loved Helen if I had a travel agent, but I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. So I pretty much was always found in different places. This is me in Bali this past December, again by myself for 10 days. Which I find very important to immerse ourselves in culture and different experiences, and it feeds my creativity and my spirituality as well. So I came out here to go to Grand Canyon University, and I say I got my degree there, but I wasn't usually there. I usually was chasing reggae concerts in California and giving my parents a run for their money of being anywhere but at school. I did get my straight A's though and graduated. I went to be a kindergarten teacher, so I have my degree in early ed. But sophomore year, I wound up going through a very difficult time, just a lot of adversity. And I turned to my art as a form of healing. So I didn't know what mandalas were at the time, but I just started drawing these symbols that became very meditative for me. So one after another, I began drawing these symmetrical designs with no pencil or rulers, just straight freehand with pen to paper. So professors, I think, had a difficult time getting me to focus as well. All I was doing was doodling and drawing. As I was drawing these, I was also very involved in the yoga community. And so I had yoga instructors suggesting that I get these designs printed onto clothing and yoga wear for them to sell out of their studios. So I went home that summer and told my parents that I was starting a business, the same girl that's going to be a kindergarten teacher, and I started a yoga clothing line. So I got my business certified, set up a bank account, found clothing and a screen printer, and that's some of the inventory that I wound up creating. And then at that same time, I also started learning henna. So that's some of my work that I've done, all freestyle for many different events and parties and things that I still do to this day. So my last 2 years of college were spent pretty much hitting up any, oh, it should be video, that middle part. The middle one's a time lapse of me doing it. But I spent my last 2 years of college doing henna, selling my clothing and my art prints at different art festivals and yoga festivals while continuing to get my education. After I graduated, I'm not. Is it dead? Did it die on me?
You broke it.
graduated college, I wound up landing an apprenticeship out in California, and I was doing an apprenticeship to be doing permanent tattoos, which was kind of funny because I'm this bubbly blonde, and here I was in a tattoo shop learning all of these different tattoo. So I studied under a mentor who's in National Geographic, known worldwide, so I got to travel to, where did we go? We went to London and Italy and all over, and so I was able to learn the different symbolisms behind the art that I was doing. So I was kind of naively drawing these designs, and then I got to dive in to study Pacific Islander culture and Native American culture and Mexican tribal culture and what their designs actually meant. So for me, I'm a huge educational nerd. I love to know what goes into the symbolism that I'm doing. After that, I took my art and started expanding it on a larger scale, which was taking it to mural art. So this is at a little vegan cafe in Costa Mesa, California. The wife is Taiwanese and the husband is Norwegian, and so I studied their symbolism and incorporated it into their artwork for them. So this is another wall. I did a couple walls in their space there, and this one was fun. I got to completely freestyle everything, so I didn't do any mock-ups for them or any pencils. They trusted me, and I just kind of went with it. So that's a little space. If you're in Costa Mesa, go check out the Water Brewery. And then here's another one that I've done recently, which most of you have seen on my Facebook page. It's the Elevate Yoga Studio located downtown Phoenix, and they do aerial yoga, so they wanted the angel wings and something to represent flight, so I came back to them and said, well, let's do Phoenix, because we're in Phoenix, and incorporated a bunch of different symbolism of our community, our downtown, and yoga spirituality concepts in there as well. And then here is some more examples of some of the work that I've done. I love doing funky things, so I do focus more on the mandala-centric style design work, but I've also gotten requests for other things. A fun one, though, are the longboards. People have hired me to do their kids or whoever's longboards as a fun decorative. So you can see me freestyling there. And then, so things coming up for me. As you can see, the restaurants and the yoga studios, wellness centers, those are great referrals for me. Those are environments that I thrive in. But as I stated too, I'm always looking forward to getting fun, unique projects that I personally would not have thought of. But so coming up, places that you can see my work, this first Friday, I will have my work for display at Elevate Yoga Studio. There's going to be wine and live music going on, and I will have some canvases there, as well as doing henna art. And then another thing that is coming up, the start of the year, Kimpton Palomar Hotel, they selected me as one of their 4 residential artists, so I will be live painting 5 to 6 days a week from January 15th to February 27th, that was right. And so you can come and see me. I'll be working live as well as having my stuff up for sale and for display. And then one of my favorite quotes, and some of you might have also noticed, my business name used to be Nelson's Mandalas, and it's transitioned to Taylor Victoria Art, but I love Nelson Mandela, and what he said is that we can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference. And I take that quite literally. And then here's where you can find me. And then also, if you're online with me, you've seen some of my things. I did bring in one piece just to show, and I'll leave you with one of my all-time favorite artists who's inspired me a lot, is the wonderful Frida Kahlo.